Yesterday itself, SEBI came up with a new circular which talked about reallocation of funds for a multi-cap mutual fund. But then after reading through the circular, there were so many people who might have gotten confused as to what will happen next. Will this lead to a big crash in the stock market or not? Me as an investor, what should be my steps? What should I do? And if you want to know all the answers to all your questions, what do you have to do? Just check out the full video. Hi guys, Rachana Ranade here and I welcome you all to another lecture on a SEBI circular which was published yesterday. So frankly speaking, this week I was done with both my videos, so I thought I'll be relaxing, but then SEBI said don't relax at all. Put another video on Saturday, and that is why here we are shooting the video on Saturday and trying to release it on Saturday itself. So I'm trying to do this as a one-take shoot. Let's see what happens, right? So first of all, let us understand as usual, what is this all about? It's about reallocation of funds of a multi-cap mutual fund. Okay, what do we mean by a multi-cap mutual fund? A mutual fund which invests in multi-caps. In multi-caps means what? In large caps, in mid caps, in small caps. Okay. Then the next obvious question is, what are large caps? Large caps are those companies whose market capitalization is in the top 100 companies by market capitalization. So you can visualize something like this. All companies are put in an ascending order by market capitalization. So ascending order in what sense? I should say descending order, I guess, wherein the highest market capitalization will come first, then next, then next, then next. Okay, so topmost market capitalization company will be the first. So such first to 100, all these companies are termed as what? Large caps. 101st to 250th will be termed as what? Mid caps. And any company who has a market capitalization which ranks 251st and onwards, that will be known as what? Small caps. I hope the concept of what is a large cap, what is a mid cap, and what is a small cap is clear by now. Okay, if that be so, what is the next point? Next point is that if you are an investor and you say, I want to put some money in large cap, some money in mid cap, some money in small cap, then originally someone would have told you, do one thing. Start your investment in 3 different mutual funds. One in large cap fund, one in mid cap, and one in small cap. Instead of that, what is the solution? Invest in one mutual fund scheme only, which will invest in all of these 3, which will invest some money in large, some money in mid, and some in small. So in the truest sense, you will get a diversity in your investment just by investing in one mutual fund scheme. Isn't that good? It is. But then what was the problem? Problem was that earlier, for a multi-cap fund, there was no restriction as such. Restriction in what sense? Let us say I am the fund manager. I could have put the entire money. Okay, assume just a hypothetical situation that company, the mutual fund manager doesn't want to keep even 1 rupee of cash with him for in a specific time frame. Okay, let's take this as a hypothetical assumption. I was allowed to put all the money that I received in only large caps. Then obvious question is that, Rachana, then how is it a multi-cap fund? Then it's a large cap fund. Correct? That is where the catch was. There was no minimum requirement that this much has to be put in large cap, this much has to be put in mid cap, this much has to be put in small cap. There was only one requirement, and what was that? The requirement was that minimum 65% of your funds should be put in equity. Okay, so equity mein 65% was minimum, and then balance 35% could be, let us say, as an example, could be retained in cash. Should not have been a problem. But this 65%, what about that? What about the internal bifurcation? There was no internal bifurcation. And that is what hit SEBI maybe, and that might have been one of the reasons why. I'm trying to reason it out by myself. That could have been the reason why SEBI thought that there has to be some minimum allocation in either of these 3 categories. Okay, what does the new rule say? New rule says that you have to put multi-cap funds. If you are a multi-cap fund, you have to put, fund manager, you have to put minimum 25% in small caps, minimum 25% in mid caps, and minimum 25% in small caps. Okay, so now what has happened? Understand, 25 3s are 75% is the minimum allocation that goes to equity versus minimum 65% which was there in equity. So this is one change. I hope you are understanding this. Originally it was 65% equity, and the new version is what? Minimum 75% in equity. And that's not a blanket 75% in equity now. They have also further bifurcated this as 25, 25, 25. Okay. So now with this, what could happen? Let us understand. what could happen? Is the mutual fund required to do the change right away? That till yesterday it was so, and today they'll have to completely reallocate? No. Obviously, SEBI will never do such a thing. They have given a time frame of January 2021. So I'll read it out for you, that all fund houses, this is what is mentioned in the SEBI circular, all fund houses shall ensure the compliance with these provisions by January 2021, that is within 1 month from the date of publishing of the next list of stocks by AMFI. Okay, wait. Now, ये तो point समझ में आ गया, that till January 2021 they have to comply with. But the last part, within 1 month from the date of publishing of next list of stocks by AMFI. What is this? I'll tell you. Right now I told you what is a large, what is a mid, and what is a small cap. Okay. Now you might be wondering, agreed, 1 to 100 is large cap, 101 to 250 is mid cap, uske aage is small caps. Agreed. But then who publishes this? Who publishes this list? Rachana Ranade? No. It is going to be published by AMFI. What is AMFI? Association of Mutual Funds of India. AMFI publishes this list. When does it publish? When does it define this? This is defined once every 6 months. Okay? Once every 6 months. So it is generally in June and in December. So that is why this last line now. So when will the next list be published? In December. So what was the last line? They have to comply this by January 2021. That is within 1 month from the date of publishing of the next list of stocks by AMFI. Now is this last point clear? Yes. Now what can be the effect? Let's understand the effect. It's a very important effect to be understood. Check out this specific picture. What does this say? Now as I mentioned, right now as on date, there was no minimum percentage allocation, correct? So what I've done is I've just taken this top 5 multi-cap funds. Which are the top 5 multi-cap funds? Kotak's Standard Multi-Cap Fund, Motilal Oswal Multi-Cap 35, ABSL is Aditya Birla, ABSL Equity Fund, UTI Equity Fund, and SBI Magnum Multi-Cap. All these are the top 5 multi-cap funds. You might say, oh, we got a tip from Rachana right now. These are the top 5. Top 5 by AUM, top 5 by size, asset under management. Okay. Now let's understand how much they have allocated in large cap, in mid cap, and in small cap. Kotak Standard Multi-Cap has invested 72% only in large caps, 28% in mid cap, and 0 in small cap. What about Motilal Oswal? 86% in large cap, 9% in mid cap, and 5% in small cap. Now you can understand with this, this is as good as a large cap fund. Now you might be wondering, what is the definition of a large cap equity fund? Okay. The large cap fund says that, the definition says that minimum 80% of your fund should be in large cap stocks. Okay. Then ideally speaking, Motilal Oswal multi-cap could have been termed as a large cap fund also. Then why is it a multi-cap fund? Because tomorrow if the fund manager feels, listen to this, if the fund manager feels that large caps might not rally as the next rally, assume the fund manager feels that next rally could be in mid caps, then what can he do? He can reallocate the large caps into mid caps. He can have a higher exposure for mid caps. Okay. But if the fund is a pure large cap fund, for a pure large cap fund, the restriction is that you have to invest minimum 80% in large cap funds. Is this clear also? Yes. So again understand, right now Motilal Oswal 86% in the large cap, 9% mid cap, 5% small cap. Guys, I hope you are understanding this, that is this a multi-cap fund in the truest spirit? No, this is not a multi-cap fund in the truest spirit. There is no equal distribution. It's a completely unbalanced distribution, right? Even if I talk about Aditya Birla, UTI, SBI, it's almost the same. So what we have done is that we have just tried to take an average of these top 5 funds. Okay, so here you can see that on an average 73% of the allocation goes to large caps, 22% to mid caps, and only 5% to small caps. Now what next? What is the minimum required allocation? Minimum required allocation is what? 25%, 25%, and 25%. So with this, what will happen? Let me talk from the perspective of small caps first. Okay, from the perspective of small caps, what will happen? Minimum required is 25. Currently, it's only 5. What will happen is that a balancing of 20 will be required. Okay, 20 inflow will be required where? 20 inflow will be required in small caps. A 3 ka inflow will be required in mid caps, and now what will happen? At least a 23% outflow, minimum 23% outflow will have to go from large caps. Now you might be wondering how 23%? See, let's say I'm talking about a fund a multi-cap fund, 25% in small cap minimum, 25% mid cap minimum. So 50% max can go to equity, to large cap funds. Maximum 50 can go to large cap funds. Out of 50, currently 73% on an average is allocated to large cap fund. Correct? So with that, 23% is an excess which will have to flow outside of large cap funds. I hope you have understood this. If not, you can revise, you can rewind, revise afterwards. Okay, but wait, let me not break the flow of this lecture. Let's go to 23% means how much? How much outflow in rupee terms will have to go outside large caps. Now you can again check this screen. Here I'll tell you, we took this again data. According to AMFI, the assets under management for a multi-cap fund, net AUM for a multi-cap fund as on 31st October 2020, I've tried to collect the latest data. 31st August 2020 was 1,46,532 crores. Okay, how is this split? Out of 1,46,532 crores, again check this out, 73% in large cap, 22% in mid cap, 5% in small cap. I hope you have understood where did I take this 73% from. That was an average of top 5 multi-cap funds. It means that the current allocation is 1,06,880. How did this figure come up? 146 into 73%. Okay, so let's now go into the math part. I hope you'll trust my calculations. Okay, with this what is going to happen, understand. 33,702 crores. Just understand the impact directly now. 33,702 crores worth rupees is going to be sold off from large caps. So you can imagine something like this. 33,702 crore worth rupees money is flushed out of large caps and it will be absorbed into mid caps worth 4,396 and 29,306 crores in small caps. My God, I'm sure with this, someone might have missed a heartbeat. Are these big numbers? These seem to be big numbers. If there is a big sell-off from large caps, what will happen? Do you think this can be one of the reasons why Nifty can crash? Maybe. This can be coupled up with the China-India tensions which are going on the border right now. Number 2. Number 3, US elections coming up. If it has a negative impact, if it goes against what was expected, 3 big reasons why market can fall. SEBI Circular, wherein 33,000 crore worth money can go out from large caps. From large caps, majorly Nifty stocks. Second, as I mentioned, geopolitical tensions. And number 3, the US presidential elections. So what can be the next thing which can happen? The whole purpose of doing this video is not to scare you away, but to make you understand that these are not big numbers. I will say, Rachana, are you going mad? You said right now 33,000 crore rupees is going to be sold off from large caps. Now understand the magnitude of that. Is that a big number? No, that's not a big number. Why? Now, I also tried to take out a data. How much is the total equity mutual funds AUM? Okay, total AUM of equity mutual funds is 7,69,000 crores. Now compare this 33,000 crores with 7,69,000 crores. This is just a 4.38%. Now compare this figure of 33,000 crores of outflow from large caps to the total AUM in the mutual fund industry right now. Total AUM of mutual fund industry right now is somewhere around 27,49,000 crores. So it is just 1.22% of the AUM. Isn't that way too small? Yes. So the whole purpose of making this video is that there might be some videos which might tell you, oh my God, can this lead to a next big crash? See the figures. These are not very big figures. 33,000 crores. If you check only in singularity, it's a big number. But if you try to compare it with something, these are like just 4% of the total AUM of equity mutual fund and only 1.2% of the total AUM. Okay, so not a big thing. Then I'll try to give you one more data, just for you to tell, is that really big data? What we did was, we also tried to check out from the AMFI website, how much was the net outflow. What is net outflow? How much was invested in mutual funds and how much went out of mutual funds in the month of August 2020. The net outflow from the mutual fund industry was 14,500 crores. Outflow, I'm saying, in August only. Did that lead to a big crash in August? No, in fact, markets have been moving up. Okay, so don't worry, these are not very big numbers. Now the last question to be answered. How will mutual funds, do mutual funds have any solution for this? Number one. And as an investor, what should I do? Two things. Understand. What can mutual funds do with this? Mutual funds, possibility number one, they can do a rebalancing, which I talked about right now. Sell 33,000 crore worth. I just gave you an example. Worth that much money, they'll sell off from large caps, they'll invest in mid cap and small caps. Okay. Possibility number two, what is there? Possibility number two is that they can recategorize this fund into some other category. For example, I talked about one mutual fund right now, if I'm not mistaken, that was the Kotak mutual fund. Yes, Kotak mutual fund, Kotak multi-cap, which was 72% was in large cap. They just need to put 8 more % so that they can convert this multi-cap fund into a large cap fund. Okay, or Motilal Oswal, so anyways it is 86%, Motilal Oswal multi-cap 35 is 86% in equity right now. So they can also categorize large cap equity. They can also get recategorized as a large cap fund. Very, very, very important point coming up here. What is that? A single mutual fund house can have only one mutual fund per category. Means what? Kotak mutual fund can't have 2 large cap funds at a time. ABSL can't have 2 large cap funds at a time. So what will happen? They'll merge. They'll merge into one fund. Okay? I'm giving you a homework here. Is this happening for the first time in history that we are talking about merging of mutual funds? No, this is not the first time. This has already happened in the past, somewhere around 2017. So this is a homework for you. You have to tell me an example wherein 2 or more funds combined together and came up with a single fund. Okay? Or existing fund hai, usme one fund got merged and it got converted into a single fund. I am going to tell you the answer of this on my Monday's live stream. Okay? That time you have to come up and answer. Otherwise, I'll tell you the answer. Don't worry. Okay? You as an individual, what you are going to do? Are you going to panic? I don't think there's a need to panic. Okay? If something happens at the border, that could be a reason for panic. If US presidential elections don't turn up the way everyone is expecting, there could be a reason of panic. This SEBI circular, I personally feel, might not have a very big impact on the on the markets. One day it might, on Monday there might be a reaction to it. Could happen. Monday there could be a reaction, but I don't think this will lead to a big sell-off. Okay, it's a small thing. Very important. You as an investor, don't panic. Even if you decide to sell off, wait, don't sell off immediately. Why? In such cases, generally mutual funds waive off the exit load because you are not exiting by choice, you are exiting by force. So wait till some announcement comes up, at least save your money. Exit load can be waived off in such situations. Okay, so my advice to you is that don't panic. Chill. This is not a very big thing that has happened, but I wanted you all to understand what has happened, and all these things and so many more things I've already covered in my Magic of Mutual Funds course. So if you want to learn more and more about mutual funds, you definitely can check out my course on my website rachanaranade.com. I generally don't say this, that share this video with your friends, this, that. If you want, you can share, is what I generally tell. But for this video, I request everyone share this video with your friends because this is something very informative. There is some kind of panic which is being created. Everyone has to understand this will not lead to a big downfall, like 1,000 points crashed in Nifty or something like that, 500 points gone in Nifty just because of this. I don't think this will happen. Even if there is a temporary panic, it will be a temporary panic. Don't get panic because of this. Stay calm, stay safe. Okay, ज़्यादा हो गया. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye.